Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark, and today we are making KFC fried chicken. This recipe comes to us from Joe Lendington, who is Colonel Sanders' nephew. He has fond memories of mixing up spices and cutting up chickens on the roof of his uncle's garage. And he did this in exchange for using the pool at the hotel that Colonel Sanders owned. KFC, of course, says that this is not the recipe. We're going to find out today. Expect a lot of cuts here. Sorry, jerkins. 2/3 teaspoon salt. Just go with a heaping 1/4 teaspoon if you don't have a 1/3 teaspoon measure. 1/2 teaspoon thyme. 1/2 teaspoon basil. 1/3 teaspoon oregano. Again, just use a heaping 1/4 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon black pepper. This is freshly ground, but you do you. 1 teaspoon celery salt. 1 teaspoon mustard. 4 teaspoons paprika. At this point, just use a tablespoon. A tablespoon is fine. That's 4 teaspoons. Whatever. 2 teaspoons garlic salt. 1 teaspoon ground ginger. And 3 teaspoons ground white pepper. In the interview, he really talked up this white pepper. He said nobody in the 1950s knew what to do with white pepper and that it was a highlight of the dish. I don't know. We'll see. And then, because most people seem to agree there's some MSG in there, at least nowadays, we're going to add a teaspoon of MSG because what's the worst that can happen? And now I'm going to screw on my jar and shake it up and roll it and bop it and pull it, you know. Get it all nice and mixed up. You're going to want to mix this twice and keep one batch for later. The first batch is going into 2 cups of buttermilk. And we're just going to whisk that in there. Might take us a little while. That's okay. Once it seems incorporated, we're pouring it all over our chicken. If you don't have enough, feel free to make a little extra. Throw it on top. It'll work out. Once everything's situated to your liking, cover it with plastic wrap and stick it in the fridge for overnight or up to 24 hours. I'm going for up to 24 hours. Let that really get in there. I'm really bad at cling wrap too, can you tell? I just do the over-under method. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. I got about 1.5 cups of potato starch. To that, I'm adding 1/2 cup of cornstarch. I wanted to use straight potato starch, but it turned out I was out. It turns out I have a bunch of sweet potato starch, but I don't have regular potato starch, so that's why we're mixing together. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and whisk our starches together. Then we're gonna take a jar of that spice mixture we made yesterday, dump that in there without any thought at all. Then we're gonna give it a mix until everything looks kind of reddened. Then we're gonna get out our friend the casserole dish, pour our mixture out in there, give it another little mix around just in case. Then we're getting our chicken out. Couple tablespoons of our mixture. Everybody says a tablespoon or 2. I always use like 4. And then we're making little craggles by running a fork through it. If you have to ungum, feel free. Now you're ready to start dredging. Put it in. Flip it around. You might have to bury it a little bit. However you want to do it. You may remember that in a different episode I learned that potato starch is my favorite for frying, and I'm going to keep it that way. Now, I will say, usually I end up feeling like 2 cups of coating is not enough. Usually I wind up feeling like I should have had more. Just so you know. I don't think I'm alone in that, but who knows? Feel in general, probably 2.5 cups of everything is probably the way to go. Just so that you don't wind up scrounging. Now we're gonna let this hydrate together for about 10 minutes. Now we're ready to double fry our chicken. I've got 2 quarts of peanut oil in a wok on high heat. If this is your first time and you're asking why a wok, it's because the conical edges make it harder to overflow the oil and cause a fire. One of the big fears that people have when they're cooking with hot oil at home, right? Yeah. And once you hit that magic number, grab your chicken. Start dropping it in. You might need to give it a little nudge. If you let it sit too long, it might loosen its coating. That's not ideal. See what happens. Okay, we're just letting the oil get in there a little bit so it's starting to look fried, and then we're taking it out. What I'm getting with the potato starch is don't leave it sitting too long, because it will start gumming up with the buttermilk. Okay, now we're bringing the temperature up to 400 degrees, and we're going to drop the chicken back in. You'll notice that some of this chicken was a little overhydrated. It caused some of the seasoning to come off. That's fine, it's still going to be delicious. But if you want to stop that, you might want to add in an extra little cornstarch dredge. Maybe add an egg. We'll see, I'll fiddle around with it in a future episode. But not today. Today I'm eating delicious faux KFC. Okay, once you hit 400 degrees, dropping your chicken back in. And you're just gonna let it cook. The challenge of doing this without all-purpose flour is that different flours cook at different rates, obviously. And it's sometimes difficult to cook the chicken without burning the flour. So we'll see how I did. Some of these look kind of dark. I'm going to try to do these two a little lighter. We'll see if the lighter one is raw. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so my prediction is that these two are going to be better, and these two, or these three, are a little overcooked, but that'll be fine. It doesn't, I'm not going for a Michelin star in here. Okay, I've got myself a quick 2-piece dinner, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Okay, like, subscribe, click that little bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye.